if you allow a court to tell the school what its athletic program should be, on what basis do you then say that a court can't tell the school what its English literature program should be? The principle of academic freedom was being infringed upon.
What they said was, we can't let students make decisions about how we're going to run the university. We need that autonomy.
As a principle, all schools supported Brown in their effort to be autonomous. Why should, in their view, the federal government tell them how many men and women they should have in the athletic department or in any other department on campus?
Brown University received a tremendous amount of support across the country, particularly from the College Football Association. It's kind of interesting to think Brown, an Ivy League school, was in support in sync with Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, some big-time football schools, because they were all very supportive and hoped that Brown, which had really an advanced program for women, that if they couldn't win the suit, who could?
There we're talking about how if this case did not get overturned, it was the end of college athletics as we know it.
Colleges felt pressure to support Brown, and that Brown didn't want to let the whole community of colleges down.
It was suggested that Brown had originally cut 4 minor sports to preserve its major sports. As often in the debate over college athletics, the 2,000-pound gorilla was football.
I think the protection of football has been influential in the elimination of teams at Brown. That has become a matter of current controversy and concern.
I don't think football was an issue at all. I think it was used as a ploy to divert the attention away from the case.
I think football is often a convenient scapegoat. People point to it because just by its nature, it's a sport that has a very, very large number of participants on the typical team.
The bigger issue is, does football need as much money as it gets at some places? And should the funds to support programs be distributed a little more equitably? I think that's the issue.
We fired 2 football coaches and probably paid about $500,000 in buyouts, and no one even goes to the football games. And I think there was a thought that, hey, can't we afford to do what it takes?
Football is not the enemy here. Just the fact that a school has a football team and it accommodates so many men does not, by definition, mean that women are being discriminated against. It supports many women's programs.
And I recognize that football has so many more athletes, and their expenses are so much larger because the team size is so much larger, and they're the revenue-generating sports. And I recognize that all of that is true, but because there's no equivalent to football for women, that doesn't make it right.
I shake my head when someone tells me that football is a revenue sport. If you look at the books, you'll find that revenue brought in from football rarely matches or almost never exceeds the expenditures.
The Stanley Cup is back in Hockeytown. Celebrate the Detroit Red Wings Stanley Cup Championship with Sports Illustrated's 2002 Stanley Cup Ice Pack, free with your paid subscription. Relive all the moments that made the 2002 playoffs unforgettable with the official NHL 2002 Stanley Cup Championship video, available on DVD or VHS. Call now and you'll also get Sports Illustrated's hardbound, gold-lettered, individually numbered Stanley Cup commemorative. Your Ice Pack is free when you order 55 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.59 an issue. Save more than 50% off the cover price. When you use your credit card, you'll get this exclusive 2002 Stanley Cup Champions commemorative puck, available only from Sports Illustrated, free. Check out the 2002 Stanley Cup Ice Pack. 3 great gifts from Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Wednesday on State V, a young man on trial. Did his drinking and driving kill his cousin?
If I had you on the stand, I would crucify you.
Now, a family torn apart and a jury room so hot, even you'll feel the heat. This is State V, People magazine calls it the unbreakable court date. Superior says USA Today. Why settle for another Law and Order repeat when you can watch State V Wednesdays on ABC?
Bringing us closer, making us stronger, impacting our lives in remarkable ways. Tech TV, the new television network about technology. Tech TV, television about technology.
Tech TV is available now on DirecTV, channel 354.
Best way to say it is extraordinary for a case to be on the front page of the Washington Post when all that happened in it was the Supreme Court decided not to review it. Everyone was looking at it as determining the future of athletics in this country.
If Brown could be a subject of a Title IX lawsuit, it really did show that anyone could be, and it made everybody reevaluate where their numbers were and pay closer attention.
And I think that was the wake-up call. You know, we better really pay attention to what this law, Title IX, told us from the very beginning. Giving them more than what they'd had before wasn't going to cut it.
The other schools saw what would happen when an institution decided it wanted to spend millions of dollars fighting. And what they saw was it would lose. They responded to the Brown University lawsuit by improving opportunities at their schools, by improving treatment of women at their schools, because they not only saw it was the right thing to do, but they didn't want to face this kind of an attack.
Universities are very careful about who they choose to drop and what they choose to add in their programs in sport. I think it's political suicide if there isn't gender balance.
It was a landmark case because it really challenged the effectiveness of Title IX.
So at the end of the day, if you read the Cohen decision, the only place you can feel truly safe as a university is with the pure objective standard of having the same percentage of dollars spent on your women as you have percentage women in your student body.
It set out as the template for all of the rest of the schools in the country and for the rest of the courts in the country.
For many universities, Cohen versus Brown held a scary message. You can reach compliance with the law through proportionality, a balance between men's and women's teams as reflected by enrollment, by adding women athletes, or by cutting men.
Sadly, the way to find the funds has been to drop men's programs. It makes it easier to fall in line with some sort of a gender balance. Men's gymnastics and men's wrestling have taken the biggest hits, and my sport has seen a tremendous decrease in participation at the college level. My alma mater doesn't have a program anymore, UCLA, and I remember how disappointed we all were when the program was dropped.
One of the hardest things I've ever had to do is sit there in front of 28 people and explain to them that there was no longer going to be baseball here at Providence College.
Suddenly, there appeared to be a new twist in this drama. Men were now being denied access to sports, just as women had been denied for so long.
Athletic directors will step up and say, well, we're going to have to cut men's sports because of Title IX. That's not true. That's really a big hypocrisy. They're cutting men's sports because of their institutional priorities.
The way the law has been written, if you are not proportional, you are in great jeopardy legally and financially. You are behind the 8 ball, so you better just get rid of some male athletes.
The truth is, the administration has not done its job properly. It has not provided for its student body to have appropriate educational opportunities, which include sport.